Hello again. Hi. Um, I was wrong in about the midsummer. It's a midsummer day, 2022, and I'd say it was always June 24, but it's this day that the midsummer, and it it always are the last Saturday in June, so it's a floating holiday. So today it's very quiet, and I was wake up in 3 o'clock in this night, and it was young people outside that was drunk and loudly, and it is with New Year Eve, is it the most drinking time, drinking night. So today they have lots of people have a hangover, and I'm quiet today, but maybe in shame what they have done, and some people, some women and men also, because they have make babies tonight, and it have in some this pregnancy to be, is it not what they wanted it to be, and it's the topic for today. I'm talking about abortion, and it's much discussion now about in the United States that they have opened up the constitutions, the law, so the states can make decision if they want women to could have abortion or not. And if you hear a sound in the background, is that my neighbors upstairs, they have not drinking, because that's their kids running in the floor, and you can maybe hear it. And so the topic is about abortion today, and it is this that people use these words that God knew you before He formed you in the belly, in the womb, and that is wrong. They should know the Bible, but they don't read the Bible. This is typical that they only copy, but they have never thinking about what is it about, and they only cut out words from the Bible, and I am not good in the Bible, because God have make me to not could read books. So, but I can look it up on Google and find what it says about this. Is Jeremiah 1 and 5, and it's before I formed you in the womb. I knew you. And that is what it's saying about that we have lived in the spirit world before we come to this planet. And we have been up to the court. It's heaven is like a real recycle. It's really recycled because they use those that have already been here on earth, and then they coming up to heaven, and then they be in the court and be judged upon what they have done here on earth. And those that is in the meadow, they can take them down to earth because they don't know their past life here on earth, and then they also send those that have been here on earth before and try to talk to people about heaven and God and God's kingdom, and they have failed, and then they maybe, if they have not failed extremely much and not done on their own things, they have done God's will, but people have not listened to them. Then they coming back, and they bring with them some of the power they had the time they were on earth, but they couldn't reach people. And I know that I have been born some few times. I have coming back, and all the other time I have been a man. Like I have said that I was a druid in the 600, and then I have been a man, and I have failed because the world is evil still, so I failed. And then it's all not now when I talk do I understand that the men have failed, that have been me, and this time am I a woman, so God have placed me like as a woman this time to see if it's work better to do it. And it's this like he make Adam first and then Eve, and a woman. First a man, and we don't know how long Adam was walking around by himself. But then God saw that it didn't work in that way, that Adam by himself was walking around. So he needed to have a woman. The man, the male figure, Adam, he couldn't make it if he had not a woman. That's why he got it, or else God didn't need a woman. If it wasn't for that, I have talked about this before, that Eve, my name is Eva. Eve, she is, she has something, other things to come with, and thinking in a different way from the male. That we know. of course there is men that is like women, and women as men, but the basic is it that we are different in our thinking. Like if a woman say that I want us to have a boat, we should buy a boat, she is thinking about far away, somewhere in the future. But the man, he said, he be angry. No, we can't afford a boat. That is impossible, because he is thinking today. He immediately associate. I think I tried to translate the Swedish word into English. Associate the what she's saying to be just now in a week like that, very close. So we are different, and so that is why God created Adam and Eve, and it was not to make babies have sexual intercourse with each other. It was to, there was already many here on earth, but they were from Lucifer. That the Lucifer had been cast down to this planet before God come and created the light. So there they have make many babies before the light come to our planet. So what Adam and Eve should do, it was to make babies, God's children of those evil people that was there, to change them, to convert them into believe in light and God, and change the whole planet. And not, it's not about to make babies literally. It's a spirit babies it's about. And that's very much people don't understand it. Now I talk to people, I talk about preacher and teacher. They don't understand this. And I have ancestors in Joseph Smith, the Mormon Church. I am connected to Joseph Smith, and it's horrible. I feel like I want to throw up, puke, because I see how many wives they have had, and I understand why they did it. I have said that is first is a social thing, that because they didn't have any security in a society about they have to rely on that people give them money, and in that way was it good for a woman that she could marry a man and be secure in the money and the food, to have food, and they have to pay with babies. And the man, that they didn't care that women they get 10, 15 children and carry them, and the body wear out, and with all the suffering there was, they didn't care, because the second was not the social, it was to create babies. for God, and to build up the church by making so much babies as they can, and that is total wrong. Very. I'm most I was wanted to puke to when I sign up Birgham, the man after the prophet after Joseph Smith. No, he was not prophet, but the president of it, and he had lots of wives. It's very. It take me forever to place in those all names that is from Joseph Smith family, and all this until today. It take forever to do it, and in the same time I feel like it's ugly, it's nasty, this takes. But I understand this with the social, that it was good for a woman to be taken care of, but she have to pay the price for it. And now I'm coming in on this. Before I formed you, that was God knew us, because all of us have been up to heaven, and we can't say when does it started, who come first, the hen or the egg, and it's the same thing as everything that have started, that we can't know it. It's impossible to know it because it's so far away. So there is no living people, and it's not written down anything. So that we need to stop thinking about where come everything from. You know that when I was in hypnosis 2018, I was up to heaven, and I met the Holy Spirit, that it's affect this planet very much, and someone that tried to talk to us, and most people doesn't want to listen to that little voice that is inside them. And that is the Holy Spirit, and it was a female. And she told me that I was up to heaven, and she told me that she was the beginning of everything, and she had no body. I was in heaven, so I could have seen her body if she had a body, but she was an energy. She was an energy. That's how everything started. But we can go down to the very first, and we can't know what it was that make everything from the start. But she is the start of everything that is living. And here in Jeremiah is 1:9, and he is saying that God told him, Jeremiah, that he have created him, and he knew him before he was created in the womb, and he was sent by God, and God say Jeremiah, he complained that he was a little child. He didn't know anything. He had no wisdom or nothing. He was an empty vessel, and that's is very good for God if you can clean up everything that you have learned and listen to God in the air and listen to heaven in the air and not take everything for truth in what you read and what you hear from those preacher and teacher that have not the connection with heaven like I have. So they are teaching and talking to what they have, what they think is the truth, and what they have learned from other people. They have manuscripts in those churches. Many of the churches have manuscripts, and these manuscripts from other times, maybe 50 years ago, and someone say, take this and preach about, because that was a huge success. It was very big success. So take that, and they preach after a manuscript. They don't work so much as you think. Some do it, of course, and then they put it in their own understanding. But my understanding is based on have been up to heaven, talking to those in heaven, and have the tight connection with God and His kingdom. That's the base of my understanding. And I try to not understand it on my own, but to hear it from heaven. And so God say that to Jeremiah to tell the Benjamins. Was it Jeremiah was into the Benjamin tribe and talk about that God will place His words in your mouth, and you should do the work of God. It's not about to read and learn from other people. That is about to be as clean as you can from everything, and then ask God to give you the word for you to preach about or teach. It's different between preach and teach. And some pastors is preacher and some are teacher. So those pastors that is teacher, they are going for the Bible, the scripture, and only study the scripture when they are preaching. And those that preacher, they are taking from the Holy Spirit what they feel for in just when they are preaching. Some preacher start with the Bible, and then they start to feel that someone is talking to them, and then they preach. That is preacher. Those teacher is teacher of the Bible and hold in the Bible. I have been to some Bible believer church, and they don't take anything that is from the what they hear and feel from the spirit world. They ignore it. They only go for the Bible and nothing else. But when I come to those churches, God was speaking to them, and they never stopped me. They listened at me in what I was saying. I think they saw that I got it from God when I was speaking in those churches. And then I look at the Benjamin tribe, because I have read a little about Benjamin. That is, Benjamin is where is the Vikings, and Benjamin tribe was up to Iceland. They were Vikings, and it was before they enter into Israel, and they return back to the north of Europe later on, when there were conflict in Israel, and they have to escape. They have to go away from Israel, and in the history they are not written down. Where did they go? The Benjamin tribe, and that's why it is not known, because it's based on what is written down, and not thinking and checking where are they, and they can tell it today of the DNA. But for me, is it my DNA showing all tribes in Israel? So that on me is it hard to based on where they go. But the Benjamins was Vikings, and they were what the history know about Benjamin tribe in Israel was, it was a small group that make it to Israel by the water, and the special with Benjamin tribe was that they were encouraging each other to do good things and fight for the rights, and but they were too small a group, and they not were really God's people, and you know, God's people is not Israel, is not the Jewish. God's people is those that listen to God, that want to come closer to God. God have no special people. God have no special country that he care for or see it as his. It's all those that people and the people in a country that listen to God and do in God's will as much as they can do. That's the God's people. That's God's country. God's country is the whole planet. So it's I have a spirit here. You understand that, you that have listened to me many episodes, you know I start to be disturbed because a spirit is on me, and I don't know if he's gonna talk about the Benjamin tribe or what it is. We see, we let him come through, but I think it seems like I don't know if because they don't show a body, they have started to hit me with only the spirit and not showing bodies, because they know that you that follow me, you know it's true, these things. So now they don't need to be in a body to talk to us. So so it showed me that it can be both a woman and a man, and the spirit have no gender. So it is, I say he, but it can be she also. And the spirit says, can I come forward? Of course you can. I am going to listen at you. He's showing me, she's so showing me the planet. I look down and I see a planet. So I am up in the spirit and see the planet. So I think it's this spirit that is here. It's a have going into my body. So this is what the spirit see. He or she see our planet. And he is saying, she is saying, it's saying that he will come forward. In what forward? He say he's gonna bless some of you that listen. And you know, it's never about money. So what is the blessing? I ask him about it. He says he's gonna showering you in blessing. Because you believe in us. He's saying that. So there is not many, because they know if you say, I believe in you, I believe in you. And then it's not true. They know your heart. So he know if you truly believe in spirits from heaven. Not the other side, is from heaven. So he know who is truly listen to this podcast, and that's those is he going to bless, and not bless you with one thing. It's showering, he say. it's gonna be. He's sorry for make me coughing, because it's when they coming closer to Earth, he take on him the last body he had here on Earth, and in that way he also get this illness that he passed away from in, and so he's coming back because he have not a mission here on Earth. He is only temporary here now. Yes, now. And thus, the more he's closer to Earth, the more he have hard with his past illness. He have not this illness in heaven. It's the planet that give him like allergy like that, and he make me because he's inside me, so I get like he died of this, not could breathe the lungs. I hope he's not staying so long time, so I faint or die. So he have to tell what he want to tell. And he say that he is going away. I see a hand waving, and he is saying that was what I wanted to say. So he's leaving now my body, so I be okay so I don't cough. That was he was saying about give you a shower of blessings in your life, because you start to be those children of God that is what God is talking to, and heaven talking to you because you believe in the spirits. So it's something else I read today on Facebook. I always check Facebook before if someone is giving me a message or something, but it's no one care about me on Facebook. Though those they see me as an ordinary woman and no one to care about, and they don't listen at the podcast, or else I have 3,500 friends on Facebook just now. Then I should have those people listen at the podcast, but they are not here. Maybe I have one from the podcast that wanted to be my friend, but those that have been my friends through the years, they don't listen, so they don't know who I am. They think I'm only an ordinary woman. Maybe there is someone here that is from my Facebook, so it can. You know that I am open for everything. It's not this. It's not. I'm not stubborn in these things. That I know I don't know everything. What I know is coming from heaven. this put on Facebook just now is about this abortion, and the it is abortion. It's this constitution law that have changed. It have not changed in the basic. If you have been raped, evidence that you have been raped of someone, it's okay to get abortion. If you have a baby in your womb that doesn't develop as it should, then you can get abortion. It's not about that. You still have the right to do abortion if something going wrong. But the normal pregnancy, that is what they want. They have forbidden now, or have done it open for the states to make decision about. And that it's about prevent. It's about prevent. Those you that have a sexual activity and intercourse and with a man is also, I'm talking about men also, that you need to prevent. You know if you are active, so why do you not prevent? There is some people that can't have anything. I am one of them, but God make me only get 2 children to have here on earth, but I couldn't do it. So I know this. I know that there is some that can't have any prevent, but then you need to prevent your sexuality and intercourse. You know that you can be pregnant even if he don't take it into you, that you playing together, it's enough. So you have to prevent, to not do those things. You need to wait, and I'm so happy that there is some, like a group of young people that wait for us to start their sexuality, to not go there, to what they have in the nature. You can do it on your own also. I'm not against masturbation, not at all. I do it on by myself also, so masturbation, and I say that to God, that if you should not want us to do anything about sexuality, you should have stop it until after we have stopped to could be pregnant. Then you should have stopped it, but he have not stopped it, and you can be how old you can be and have sexuality, and I could go out and get me a man and have a sexual activity, but I don't do it because I know I have to be married to do that, but I can relieve myself. But not in that way, so that it be a addiction. Addiction. It should not be addiction. That you have to stay away as long as you can to do it. It's not. It's not really free to do it. You have to try to stay away as long as you can. And for myself, is it that I get fever, I be sick if I don't do it after. I maybe hold it up to 1 month, but then one day I'll be very sick, and I know what it is, because a special feeling inside me. And I also have sometimes dreams, sexual dreams. So it's not about that. It's about to make babies that you have to prevent to be pregnant. And you have to face it, and face it with your parents if you are young. You have to be such brave, powerful man and woman to tell your parents that you are sexually active and you need to have protection. That's you don't know what your parents are going to say. They maybe surprise you, and they don't want you to come home and have a child, or coming home and say you are going to be a father when you are very young. And they want you to live your life in a young age, to not have this responsibility to take care of the children. God gave me a child when I was 23, so I was not very young. My son was born when I was 23. You can say and think about me whatever you want to say and think, but you will know that you are not my listener, you are not my followers, you are not the one that want to come close to God. And this night in Oslo, in Norway, there was a man that shoot into the gay club, and he killed 2 people and 11 was wounded, and they took him. But today is it the Pride festival in Oslo, so it can happen more things, and so I don't say you should kill. It's to like wanking, masturbation, these things, you have to hold it back. We struggle, we people, and that's the meaning of it. We have to struggling and suffering and have hard times in our life to learn and to come to know God, and I can look at some cute young man. I'm not dead yet, and but I don't go and pinch them in the butt or something like that. I had to stay away from doing things that my nature and the Lucifer want me to do. That's the same with the homosexuality, and I'd be so angry today. Yesterday it was a man that is known gay, and he have adopted children with his man. This man is a famous singer here in Sweden, and yesterday I saw that he had a program for the children. He took care of groups of children and educate them, and of course he educate them in homosexuality, and that is this they do in school today in Sweden, that it's not wrong to be gay, it's not wrong to be transgender, it's not wrong to change your gender and these things they say in the school, and he is traveling around and educate children in his way to see his life, to get confirm that he do the right thing. That he do by telling the children to that's okay to be gay. It's okay to be a girl is together with a girl, and a man is together with a man. It's okay, like that. He's telling, and they adopt children also now. I say that in when they started to talking about the gay people was allowed to be blessed in the church, to marry inside the church and get the blessing from the pastor, and a blessing like it was from God. I say that already when I read about it. I say that's the first step. The second step is to could adopt kids. When they get married and two men can't have a child together, then they adopt, and it have been for many years. This that I knew we should, and what is next step? The third step is about to educate children and educate themselves into those work that have with children to do. You know it, many of you know the devil is going for our children in many ways, in abortion, to kill, to prevent that these coming people that work against Lucifer, that is be born. They know who is laying in the womb. That's why we have to protect those children in the womb, because those that screaming about abortion, they know that they are carrying good children that going to fight against the devil. So the devil want to kill. That's why we need to stop this abortion. I say that sometimes it can be a very good leader that is in the womb, But then people say Hitler was in the womb. But that I say that Lucifer need to have children be born also for him, and God, of course, need those children to be born. So that is already a war going on in the womb. And I told you about when I was born, my mother didn't know she was born. My mother didn't know she was pregnant before she was after 5th month. And the doctor didn't allow her to get the abortion because it was too late. So God covering me. So that can happen for those in the womb, and that what God wanted to be, that all children should be born, that because a spirit is coming through to confirm this. He's saying that those children, that's why it's so much hate and screaming about abortion now, because Lucifer, the devil, know that God is going to place the children of his that is going to clean up this world, to those children that is going to be awake. That's why the Lucifer is going so very much on those children, unborn children in the womb, and those children that is growing up today. That's because it's about the fear. Lucifer have the fear because he know his time is cut off very soon. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So God bless you. Thank you for listening.